Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Senior Hannington here. Today we are looking at the payroll calculation. As you can see on your screen, we shall explore how to arrive at the different components of the payroll, how to come up with the gross pays, the allowances, the deductions, and then finally how to arrive at the net pay. Please pay close attention and follow alongside as I guide you through the entire process. So the following data shows employees of Century Bottling Company and their basic pay. Enter the data below into an Excel worksheet and rename it camp, employee number, employee name, salary scale, then the basic pay. So this is what we have to enter into an Excel sheet. We are going to see how to do that. Then part B, use if. Allocate the salary scales of the company as follows. So this is if. We are going to use if to allocate the salary scales. So the salary scales will be allocated on the basis of the basic pay, as we are going to see how to do that. Then medical allowance is paid to employees as follows. Still, medical allowance is going to be allocated to the employees on the basis of the scales. Risk allowance is paid as follows. So scale B equal 1, 350,000, B equal 2, 50,000. Still, we are going to allocate the risk allowance on the basis of the salary scale. NSSF is 5% of the gross pay. Profession association fees are deducted at 7% of the basic pay for all employees. Pay as you earn is deductible from the gross pay based on the Uganda Income Tax Act. So there you have the tax table there. As you can see, you have the rate of tax for each and every monthly chargeable income or gross pay. So I'll be using that to come up with our pay as you earn. Then what else required? Insert a suitable heading to the payroll. Use a text box. Complete the payroll for Century Beverage Company for the month of November 2021. Insert your name and register number as the header. Save your work as 1 cent 24. Okay, I'm going to focus on how to come up with this payroll statement based on the instructions. So enter the data below into an Excel worksheet. That is part A, and this is our data which we have already: the employee number, the employee name, the salary scale, and then the basic pay. Let me insert a suitable heading, but we have been told to use a text box. So you click on insert, then text box, text box. Okay, we can give it a name: Century Bottling Company payroll statement for the month of November 2021. That is my suitable heading based on the information which we have. So okay, that's my heading. Yeah, Century Bottling Company payroll statement for the month of November 2021. So I have my heading. As you can see, I have the employee number, the employee name, the salary scale, the basic pays are there. So what next? That is part A. Part B, using if, allocate the salary scales of the company as follows. So we are going to allocate the salary scales of the company on the basis of the basic pay. So let's see how to do that. So salary scale, I'm going to use the if to do that. So I'll say if what? If basic pay, because we are using basic pay. So if our basic pay, that is S4, is greater than or equal to what? Greater than shillings 2.5 million and above, that is B equal 1. So this is 2.5 millions, comma, we expect to see BA1 for employees with that C salary of 2.5 and above. Then if that is S4, if your basic pay is greater than or equal to what? 2.1 M, then that will be BAK2. Then if S4, that is your basic pay cell, greater than or equal to how much? This is BAK2, 1.8. Then we expect to see BAK3, just to confirm. BAK3, that is 1.8. Is it what I have used? Yes. Then okay, comma, then if our S for the basic pay is greater than or equal to what? That is 1.5. That will be BK4. .5. That will be BK4. Then if our S4 is greater or equal to 1.5, 1.3, then that will be BEK5. Then if S4, your basic pay, is greater than or equal to 900,000, that's as per the question, then the salary scale is BEK6. Yeah, BEK6. Then what next? BEK6. 7 between 500,000. BEK7 between 500,000. Then if your S for the basic pay greater than or equal to 500,000, then that is BEK7. That is BEK7. Then BEK8, that is below 500,000. So anything below 500,000, that will be BEK8. That will be BEK8. Then enter. So you see, you have now the salary scales. You have the salary scales. Now just to confirm, Lule is having a basic pay of 8 million. Does that salary scale corresponds? BEK1 salary scale, that's for the basic pay of more than of 2.5 and above, and Lule is having a basic pay of 8 million, so that is the salary scale. This one is okay. They all have 2.5 and above. Let me check on this one of 800,000. 800,000. 800,000, that is between 500,000 inclusive and 900,000 exclusive. So between, this is 800. So 800 falls in the salary scale of BEK7, I think. Yes. This is 800,000 between 500 and 900. So I think that's it. Then let me check on who else here. 1.4. That is Loera. Salary scale is BEK5. Let's check and see just to confirm. BEK5 between 1.3, 1.5 exclusive. So That's it. That's your salary scale. So you see we have allocated our salary scales using the if. So we have that. Then the next, C, medical allowance is paid to employees as follows. Medical allowance. So now if you have your basic pay, now you can add medical allowance. This is medical allowance. That is my medical allowance. How do we allocate the medical allowance? We are being told that medical allowance is paid to the employees as follows. So you're going to still use the salary scales to allocate the medical allowance. We still use the salary scales to allocate the medical allowance. So you're going to use still if. You use the if function, the if formula to come up with that. So this is if still if. So if we are using the salary scales to allocate the medical allowance. So this will be if this, because now we are using the salary scale. So if BEK, okay, if our salary scale equals to what? If our salary scale equals to BEK3, the salary scale equals to BEK3, then there I would expect to see a 500,000 as the medical allowance. Okay. Then if our salary scale equals to what? If our salary scale equals to BEK4, that is 440, equals to BEK4, then that is 440,000. Then if our salary scale is BEK5, if our salary scale equals to BEK5, then the medical allowance is 350,000. Since BEK5, let's check BEK5, that is 350,000. Okay. Then if it's a BEK6, that is 300,000. If the salary scale equals to BEK6, then that is 300,000. Then next is what? BEK7 to 50,000. BEK7 to 50,000. So if our salary scale equals to BEK7, then that is BEK7, that is 250,000. 250,000. Then if our salary scale, do we have BEK8? BEK, that is 200,000. If BEK8 salary scale, if our salary scale equals to BEK8, it's BEK8, then we expect to see 200,000. If not, for any other salary scale, there is a 0, no medical allowance. There is a 0, no medical allowance. Okay, switch. If this. Why is it giving me a dash? Let me just try to check and see. Okay, so where you said dash, just know that that employee is not entitled to any medical allowance. The medical allowance will be 0. But just to confirm, let us try to check and see, just to prove that figure. Those figures we have BEK3 500,000 as your medical allowance. So check those employees with within the salary scale, with the salary scale of BEK3. Their medical allowance is 500,000. Let's try to check and see BEK3. Do we have any BEK3? No. Then BEK4 440. Do we have any in that salary scale of BEK4? We don't have. BEK5, I think we have BEK5. Salary scale we have BEK5 350. Is it what they get? 350 BEK5? Yes. Then BEK7 250,000. Let's try to check and see. BEK7 250,000. Yep, I think that's our medical allowance. We have it. We have the medical allowance for the different employees. So what else do they want us to come up with? What else do they want us to come up with? Let's try to check and see. Next is risk allowance is paid as follows. So if the salary scale is BEK1, then risk allowance is 350,000. If it's BEK2, then salary scale is 50,000. Okay, this is a bit short. It's going to be very easy. So this is risk allowance. Risky allowance. This is risk allowance. So I'll say this is if our salary scale equals to what? If our salary scale equals to BEK1, that is 50,000, they will be getting 50,000. If BEK1, then they will get 350. They will get 350,000. Comma, if the salary scale equals to what? The salary scale equals to BEK2 50,000 equals to BEK2 BEK2, then that is how much? That is 250,000. Okay, that's 200,000. Any other salary scale other than BEK1 and BEK2, that is 0. So BEK1 they receive 350,000. BEK2 they receive how much? So you see, when it comes to the risky allowance, we have those that fall in the salary scale of BEK1, and you see their risk allowance is 350,000. BEK2, we don't have any employee in that range, in that salary scale. That's why you see that we don't have like a 250 under the risk allowance. It does not appear because none of the employees falls in that range. That salary scale of D equal to, that is between 2.1 million and then 2.5 M. We don't have an employee with that amount basic pay. So that is your risky allowance. So when you get the basic pay plus the allowances, then of course we come up with the gross pay. So we are going to compute the gross pay. We compute the gross pay, get our gross pay. So your gross pay will equal to the basic pay, then plus the sum of the medical allowances and the risk allowances, plus the sum of all the allowances. So for Lule, we have a gross pay of 8,350,000. So we can get for the rest of the employees, as you can see. You can get for the rest of the employees. So that is gross pay. That is your gross pay. Now what next? What next? As per the information given, NSSF is 5% of the gross pay. Okay. NSSF, that is National Social Security Fund. NSSF, that this is 5% times the gross pay. That is NSSF. So we have the NSSF for all the different employees, as you can see. What else do we have to come up with? What else? Professional association fees are deductible at 5% of the basic pay. These are deductions, don't forget. We are looking at the deductions. The first deduction was NSSF. Now we have the professional fees as another deduction. Professional fees. That's another deduction, professional fees. How do we compute the professional fees? We have been to that professional fees, that's 7% of the basic pay. 7% of the basic pay. So this is 7% times the basic pay. That is 560. That's 560,000. So that is your professional fees. What else are we required to come up with? Professional fees. Then pay as you earn is deductible from gross pay based on the Uganda Income Tax Act. We have the taxi table there. Let's try to see how we can come up with our pay as you earn. These are all deductions. NSSF, professional fees, pay as you earn, these are all deductions. These are all deductions. So still we use the if. So I will say if what? If our gross pay, that is gross pay, that is before the gross pay, the gross pay is what? The gross pay not exceeding 235,000, not exceeding 235,000. So that is less than or equal to 235,000. The tax rate is nil. That is a zero rate. So if our gross pay is less than or equal to 235,000, then it means that we are going to get the gross pay times 0%, times 0%. That is the first condition, that for all the employees with a gross pay not exceeding 235,000, that is gross pay being less than or equal to 235,000, then you don't pay any tax, so the tax rate is 0. Then if this gross pay is less than or equal to what? Is less than or equal to less than or equal to. Let's check second and we see. Exceeding 235,000 but not exceeding 335,000, not exceeding. So I will be using these upper limits, not exceeding 335,000. So less than or equal to 335,000, less than or equal to 335,000, then comma. So the tax, the pay as you earn will be the gross pay times what? What's the rate there? %10 of the amount by which chargeable income exceeds 235,000. So that will be the gross pay is less than or equal to 235,000. Then to get the tax, that will be the gross pay times 10%. Times 10%. So that is it. The other condition is if our gross pay, our gross pay is what? Exceeding 335,000, not exceeding 410,000. If the gross pay is less than or equal to 410,000, it's less than or equal to 410,000, comma, that we get 10,000, then plus, that's what? The tax is 10,000. Tax is going to be 10,000 plus 20% of the amount by which the chargeable income exceeds 335,000. So that will be 10%. It will be 10,000 rather, plus 20% times open brackets times V4, that is gross pay, minus, they have said minus 335,000. These are two. Then a comma. If your gross pay is less than or equal to what? Not exceeding this, we have done that. Then if exceeding 410,000 but not exceeding what? A, UBX 25,000 plus 30% of the amount by which chargeable income exceeds UBX 410,000, and where the chargeable income of an individual exceeds UBX 10 millions, an addition of 10% charged on the amount by which chargeable income exceeds 10 millions. So here our upper limit is 10 millions. So if it is less than or equal to 10 millions, than or equal to 10 million, this is less than or equal to 10 million, we have been told that we are going to charge 25,000 plus 30% of the amount by which chargeable income exceeds 410,000. Okay. So that is it's going to be 25,000 plus 30% times the gross pay, which is V4, minus 10 millions. Is it? Minus 410, exceeding 410. Exceeding 410. Exceeding 410. Then comma, then if your V4 is less than or equal to what? It's less than or equal to less than or equal to less than or equal to what? Let us try to check and see. They have said that exceeding 410, so meaning that UBX this plus amount where chargeable income exceeds 410,000, and where the chargeable income of an individual exceeds this, an additional 10% charge on the amount by which the chargeable income exceeds UBX 10 million. So meaning that still so what I'm going to do, where are we? We are here. So this will still be, this is 30%. We are done with this. I'm not going to put the if. I will just say it will still be 25,000. Then plus, I'm going to repeat the same, plus 30%, because this is just an addition, plus 30% times V4 minus 410,000, okay, then plus, because they have said that you have to add. So the same as in A, that is where the chargeable income of an individual exceeds 10 millions. So an additional 10% charged on the amount by which the chargeable income exceeds 10 million is going to be added to your A. That's why I'm bringing back the A. That's why I'm bringing back the A. Then plus, I've said 10% of the amount by which the chargeable income, that is V4, exceeds how much? Exceeds 10 millions. This is 1, 2, 3, exceeds 10 millions. So that is my pay as you earn for that employee. Then you can get for the rest of the employees. You can get for the rest of the employees. That is pay as you earn. So it's computed on the basis of the gross pay, but of course we have to look at the tax table and we see which rate will apply basing on the gross pay of the employee. What you have to do next is now to get your net pay. What you have to do next is to get your net pay, and net pay is the gross pay minus all the deductions. So gross pay minus the sum of all these deductions. That is NSSF, professional fees, and then the pay as you earn. So for Lule, that is 4,965,500. To get for the rest of the employees, do that. So that is your payroll. That's your payroll for Century bottling company. That's the payroll statement for this company. That's the payroll statement for this company. Maybe what I can do, I can use okay, the amount's already in 1,000 separator. Already in 1,000 separator, so the level of rounding off is 1,000, as you can see. So that is my payroll. That's my payroll. What you have to do now is to practice through the different questions. Thank you so much for watching. This is your tutor, Senior Honey. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you believe that the videos on my YouTube channel benefited you. Then still share with your other friends. Share with your other friends as long as you believe that the content will benefit them. Share with them. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. In case you have a question, please feel free. You can share your question in the comments section. Then I will give you the feedback. I'll answer you. So that's it. Bye-bye.